Yeah, if you don't know Hercules or Kevin Sorbo because you're not like 80, I saw it when I was little. It's just like, you know, really, really old now. It was this TV show that was like the most popular for a while, I think, in the world. I don't know. It was super popular, and it was basically about like Hercules. You had to go around and like solve problems and all this junk. There's another TV show that was like similar to it called Xena Princess Warrior. I watched that too, and my dad watched that, and he used to say, "Damn, I'd let her eat crackers in my bed." Oh God, he was so stupid sometimes, my dad. Honestly, he used to tell dad jokes constantly. And I know that dad jokes are really stupid, but some of them are funny as shit, honestly. He said that about Seven of Nine, too, from Voyager. Damn, I'd let her eat crackers in my bed. Oh, God. Anyway, Xena Princess Warrior is just like another part of that whole superhero era, I guess.
Fascinating to me, and I want to go in here for a second, is
Sure.
that you've got an autobiography called True Strength, which is out, and it details your recovery from a series of strokes. So here you're playing Hercules.
Yeah, I heard about this. It's actually incredible.
I didn't know that you had a series of strokes in the 1990s. Tell us about that, because I don't think even my audience knows that.
Oh my God, I finally won this. That was a nightmare and a half. Holy shit. You guys don't know how long I've been doing this. I did this like last night too for hours.
Yeah, it was at the end of near the end of season 5 on the series. I shot 7 years down in New Zealand on it, and look, I was having all kinds of problems with my left shoulder the last 3 months leading into that season 5. Couldn't figure what was going on with my shoulder. My arm was killing me. My fingers were cold and numb. And it was just weird. But, I was doing most of my own stunts because my ego said that I could. And I enjoyed doing it because I'm a jock from football and basketball days through high school and college and everything. And it was.
Oh, so he's part of the douchebag convention, the yearly douchebag convention. Got it. Yeah, I was on a plane the other day going to the Secular Student Alliance conference in Little Rock, Arkansas. And like 15 douchebags got on the plane in front of me. And they were just like, they were really ugly, some of them, but they were dressed like they're super fucking hot. You know the type where they're all tanned and I don't know. It's like they have orange face paint like Donald Trump and their hair is all spiked up in the front and they're wearing like Aeropostale shirts and shit. You know the type. Douchebags. So I guess that's Kevin Sorbo in a nutshell, right? Xena was good. Hercules was bad because of Sorbo's bad acting. Yeah, it was comically bad from my understanding. Like Donald Trump, really, really funny, but funny like a clown. Haha, you're an idiot funny. Not, wow, you're a really good, like, comedian funny. Anyway, just looking through. Yeah, I was pretty young when Hercules came out and Xena came out. I do remember sitting there listening to it, but I was really young. Dude, do people really not know about Hercules now? Yeah, most people don't, I don't think. I guess most people know about it, but a younger generation doesn't. Okay. Xena was the spin-off from Hercules, was it? I didn't know that. Okay, interesting. Huh. Xena Princess Warrior. Yeah, I don't know about it. There you go. A couple people don't know. Hiddenness, not Hedines. Okay, I couldn't figure that out. Thanks. I thought you were saying hedonism, and the word just was not forming for me. All right, let's keep listening here.
It was just I got back to LA to do promotional work on my first big budget movie for Universal Studios called Call the Conqueror, the prequel to Conan the Barbarian. And I get to New York and I'm doing Letterman and all these other.
Oh, I forgot he did Conan the Barbarian too.
Shows, and they sent a doctor to my hotel room because my arm just felt weird. And he said, you better get this checked out. It could be something pretty serious. I get back to LA. My doctor finds a lump up here. That lump ended up being an aneurysm.
Holy shit, that is scary. That's like my deepest fear, that I'm just going to be bebopping along and one day, boom, I have a stroke or an aneurysm or some shit. If there's an aneurysm in your brain, that's it. You're done. There's no way to solve that. If you have a stroke, you better get that shit taken care of ASAP. It's really scary, seriously.
Quick interjection, this won't take long, I promise. I'd appreciate it if you watched to the end of the video, or at least a couple extra seconds, because YouTube bases its algorithm off of watch time. The more watch time a video has, the further the video will go. Also, take a look at my website, owenmorgan.com. I'm selling my book, Understanding Jehovah's Witnesses, 400 pages, and my second book, 100 Questions for Jehovah's Witnesses, which is about 80 pages. And you can find them both there on the website. Audio form, ebook form, whatever. It's about my experiences within the religion and the history of the religion generally. The 100 questions are intended to challenge a religious leader, so I'd appreciate it if you give it a read. Okay, back to the video.
For months, I've been slowly spitting blood clots down into my arm, but unfortunately, when it opened up, a neurologist called it retrograde flow. It put 4 clots into my brain. I suffered 4 strokes. Obviously,
Oh my God.
that could have killed me right away. Could have been a wheelchair the rest of my life. But where those blood clots went to was my balance, my speech, and my vision. My speech was able to come back relatively quick. I worked hard in that, but it took me 4 months to learn how to walk and balance again. It took me 3 years to fully recover from it. So if you look at season 6 and 7 on Hercules, you can see I lost a lot of muscle mass. I wasn't able to work out. I went from
My God, that's scary.
about 230 pounds down to about 210. And they brought a lot of guest casting in, and they just did what they could to sort of keep the show going. But it took me 3 full years to really feel 100% again. And it was rough. And I wrote the book called True Strength, My Journey from Hercules to Mere Mortal, How Nearly Dying Killed to Save My Life. And it was weird because I wasn't planning on that to become as big a seller as it was. I wasn't planning on people all of a sudden calling me to speaking events. So now, since 2012, I've been averaging about 12 to 15 speaking events every year, ranging everything from pro-life to Christian education to motivation to
Yeah, he's a nutcase.
health, all these kinds of things. So it's been an interesting sideline job for me these last 12 years.
Well, and then right after that, I guess you did God's Not Dead, where you played an atheist professor, and a lot of
Oh, it was so insufferable.
a lot of folks in the Christian community were impacted by that because it was commercially successful. It had a large audience.
It was commercially successful. That's true.
And I guess since then, you've been really focused on taking a strong stand, which is rare in Hollywood, for what you believe. Tell us, what's that like? Because to us, it's still a bit of a mystery.
No, I think people in Hollywood take a stand for things that are important to them all the time. I just think that people in Hollywood generally aren't complete nutcases. Some of them are. Sadly, Jim Carrey thinks he's in a simulation, for example. But yeah, honestly, if I gained that kind of fame and money and notoriety, I would probably think I was in a simulation too.
How Christians and conservatives can exist in Hollywood. What's your experience?
Say about Sorbo what you will, but that is some tough shit. Yeah, I know. Seriously. That's crazy, right?
What you believe? Tell us.
Wait, Cull was Sorbo, Conan was Arnold Schwarzenegger. Right. I remember. My mistake. By the way, Arnold Schwarzenegger, he is the shit. I love that dude.
Audience. And I guess since then, you've been really focused on taking a strong stand, which is rare in Hollywood, for what you believe. Tell us, what's that like? Because to us, it's still a bit of a mystery how Christians and conservatives can exist in Hollywood. What's your experience?
They really can't. You got to.
Yes, they can. Conservatives exist all over Hollywood. You can't be such an extreme nutcase that, like, you're a full-blown Nazi in Hollywood, I would say. Because, believe it or not, a lot of people don't really like Nazis. And Kevin Sorbo just so happens to be a Nazi, in my opinion. There's a Telegram channel of a guy named John Miller. Okay, there's a little bit of a winding thing here, so follow me through for a second. John Miller, he's a guy who works with Stu Peters a lot. Hilariously, it's also the fake name that Donald Trump used to give the media, pretending he was a press agent for Donald Trump, because he didn't have a press agent at the time. But this guy works with Stu Peters a lot. Here's just like one clip from them. By the way, these two are Nazis right here.
We put Israel in the region to basically stir everything up, and they are resentful about the fact that Israel is there, mucking with all of their relations and imposing everything on them. And it's just, they're an instigator. And they, not to mention...
Like, I agree with the fact that Israel is instigating and causing problems for everybody needlessly. But he's not saying this because he wants to improve conditions or whatever. He's saying it because he's anti-Semitic. He also doesn't like Palestinians. He hopes that they die. He likes what's happening to them. This isn't like this isn't some like stand for Palestine or whatever.
The age-old fact that, yeah, they literally are the ones who killed Christ. I think we talked about this the last time I was on.
Oh my God, this is just nonsense.
And
this is Nazi propaganda, by the way, right here.
Read Matthew 27. They say that we are responsible and our kids will be responsible and our progeny will be responsible for the death of Jesus. That's kind of what I was alluding to.
All right, so I'm sorry, I just have to address this real quick. This does relate to Kevin Sorbo, and I'll get there in a second. Just bear with me. The Bible has different... Oh my God, all right, I suck. Why am I playing this again? I just wanted Gil. The Bible says different things in different books about how Jesus died and who killed him and everything. You know what? I'm not playing this again. I'm going to go battle in the battle arena instead. Wait, can I not pause? There we go. In one book, it says that Pontius Pilate ordered him dead. In one book, it says that the Jews ordered him dead. And in another, it says that Pontius Pilate said, you can replace him with another person, some other criminal. And the Jews said, absolutely not. We want him dead. And he said, then I wash my hands of it. He offered 3 times or whatever. The reason that it tells different stories about that is because the Bible, early Christians had a battle with Jews. They were trying to pin the problems on Jews at the time. They're blaming them for how things went. There's like an anti-Jewish bias all through the New Testament. Scholars generally agree that Jesus was not like executed by the Jews. He's executed by the Romans. It was a Roman system. It was a Roman, method of execution. It was a Roman governor in charge, Roman everything. The Jews may not have liked him. I'll agree with that. They didn't like him, but that does not mean that they specifically had the sway with the Roman government to have him killed. He was making waves in society at the time, so of course he was executed. Anyway, that's neither here nor there. This is just anti-Semitic propaganda. This is like Nazi propaganda. This is one of the things that Hitler used to whip people into a blood frenzy. Jews killed Jesus.
And our kids will be responsible and our progeny will be responsible for the death of Jesus. That's kind of what I was alluding to. But they are pushing buttons. They are causing problems in the region.
Yeah, so that's John Miller, right? Well, John Miller has a Telegram channel where he's got 10,000 subbies on there, right? He posts this image, Mom, what's the Holocaust? And the mom says, it was the one time Jews had to do manual labor, so they claim it killed them. Holocaust denialism, extremism, all of that stuff. It's Nazi shit is what we're looking at here, right? The twit shows who likes tweets. And right here, we have Kevin Sorbo listed as somebody who likes this tweet. Now, is this like real? I mean, I have no reason to think it's not, but I don't really have reason to think it is. It's definitely something that Kevin Sorbo would say or do. So take that for what you will. I believe that Sorbo is almost certainly a Nazi, maybe a crypto Nazi, doing it in secret. I don't know. Anyway, let's keep listening here.
Quiet.
Tell us, what's that like? Because to us, it's still a bit of a mystery how Christians and conservatives can exist in Hollywood. What's your experience?
Again, it's Nazis that aren't really accepted generally, and even Nazis are allowed in.
They really can't. You got to be quiet about it, and I wasn't quiet about it. My first really faith-based movie was called What If, back in 2010, directed by Dallas Jenkins, who, of course, is well known for doing The Chosen, right? And his father's Jerry Jenkins, who wrote the Left Behind books with Tim LaHaye. So when I did What If, I said, these are the kind of movies I want to keep doing. The trouble with independent movies is, how do you get them out there when you don't have a big budget, advertising budget? You shoot a $3 million movie. You don't have a $100 million advertising budget like they do for Deadpool and Avengers on these $300 million movies. So we got...
Yeah, maybe make a movie that isn't piss poor, that might appeal to other people too, other than like nutcases. That might help.
Rely on word of mouth. God's not dead, obviously. Word of mouth. That $2 million budget, we shot it for nothing, made $140 million. So it was one of those rare things. But that really cemented for me. I wanted to keep doing movies that had a positive impact on people instead of a negative one. You see what Hollywood's doing. They just keep putting out crap and more woke stuff. And people
Wait, Hollywood is putting out woke stuff?
are tired of it. I get stopped all the time. You mentioned Hercules. I'm grateful for that series, but people stop me all the time now because of God's Not Dead, Soul Surfer, Let There Be Light, and all these other movies. And that's what I'm going to keep on making. I enjoy making them. I've done secular movies since then. I've got 2 movies coming out later. One I played a vampire in. I had a blast. It was a comedy, but I had a good
You played a vampire in a movie? What?
time doing it. But for the most part, I would do movies that Hollywood used to do, movies
And has anybody ever heard of these movies that you did that were secular?
that have hope, redemption. The good guy wins, not the bad guy. Hollywood loves celebrating hate and anger and sex. You know that.
I don't know what that means exactly.
Right. Well, you got that.
Coming from a Nazi says Hollywood likes selling anger. Okay.
What's your next big project that we need to know about? What's coming out? And I think we have a trailer. I want to make sure my staff has it ready. What's coming up next?
The Firing Squad. Go to firingsquadfilm.com. It's a true story. And the character I'm in it with Cuba Gooding Jr. and James Barrington did a great
Wow, that's actually pretty influential crowd.
job in it. He's really like the main guy in it. But I play a guy that when he was surfing in Indonesia, American over there, he saw his girlfriend being flirting with the guy on the beach. He got mad and he killed the guy. Well, he gets arrested. He gets a death sentence in Indonesia. Then they do it by the firing squad. Well, during his decades in jail, he became a Christian. He became a pastor, and he saved millions of not millions. They say.
Wow, I just got completely destroyed there. So this pastor he's saying pastor, right? There was a pastor who was like he killed his girlfriend's like paramour or whatever.
Many souls of other inmates in guards while he was in there, and near the end of the movie, when he gets assassinated, when he gets executed in front of the firing squad, he wouldn't wear the blindfold. He looked straight at the guys across from him that he's gotten to know all these years, and he says, "God loves you." And then he was executed in 2015.
Wow, that's a great ending to a movie, right? What a movie worth making.
Dang, brother.
Yeah,
I didn't know that was how the story ends up. Yeah, really.
no, there's more to it. Trust me. That the main character really is James Barrington's character. He's the last guy to come in. The story really revolves around him. You do find out about my past and why I'm there, but I'm sort of like the Gandalf in this movie, right? It's sort of I show up every 5th or 6th scene to sort of help guide this kid, and it was a really hardcore atheist, hater, bad drug dealer, murderer.
Right, I was an atheist. Yeah, somehow it doesn't surprise me that Kevin Sorbo played an atheist in a movie. Wow,
and all this kind of stuff. And I look at him as my last thing I got to do before I leave this earth.
Wow. So you portray this
who is Kevin Sorbo going to do?
Pastor Lindbrook.
Yep.
And so he was a pastor in prison, I guess. That's what he was doing?
He became a pastor while in prison. He went through all the courses. He asked if he could take all the courses and get a degree and whatever he had to do, but he became a pastor while he was in prison.
Chelsea, do you have that trailer?
If you go to Firing, there it is.
Unfortunately, I can't watch trailers, certainly not ones from Kevin Sorbo, because they're so litigious. It's crazy. We're going to have to skip it, unfortunately. Just rest assured it's complete garbage. Yeah. Just imagine complete garbage in front of you for the past 2 minutes.
As we know that we are going to be coming to your kingdom.
That's intense. So what's your thoughts?
I'm curious for you what type of preparation you had to do.
Wait, Carl Wallner? Level 10 living coach. Level 10 living... What the hell is a level 10 living coach? I gotta know now. Is that like a black belt in like Taekwondo or something? Level 10 coaching. Wait, is this a company? Level 10? Okay. Level 10 living course, resources from Lance Wallner. All right, this is the Level 10 living coach material. Level 10 living course, available as physical or digital. Click drop-down menu to view options. It's $477 for the digital course, or $497 for the physical course. Wow. What a colossal ripoff. You know, my book was very expensive to print. but it was way less expensive to just like make available for download. Seems to me like people should be charging like $20 for the downloadable one, but okay. Summit live stream, only $97. Oh my God, that is nuts. The Ultimate Health and Wellness Conference. Stay healthy, prioritize your well-being to impact culture more profoundly. In 1 Corinthians 6:19-20, we're reminded that our bodies are temples of the Holy Spirit. By staying healthy, we empower ourselves to make a more profound impact on the world around us. At the Health and Wellness Conference 2024, we will guide you on a path to holistic well-being, where your health becomes a powerful tool for cultural influence. Okay. Damn, I wish I could, like, watch some of this without paying out the wazoo for it. It's like Matthew McConaughey's wellness course or whatever. I wish I could get that without paying $500. What a massive ripoff. Wants my full name and email address and everything. Wow. And no thank you. I will pass. Living coach here charges $500 for his stuff. All right, go on.
Not just to get into the mindset, but to kind of fill out the character before going in front of the camera.
You know, I did. I mean, the script was a great script, and it kind of fills it that way. But what did it for me more than anything else was I got to the set, and they, for some reason, the lighting or whatever, they wanted to get this one scene shot outside before they started filming my first scene. So we had a prison that's been abandoned for decades in northern Florida here, and that was a location. And I went in the prison by myself. There was nobody else in there. They were filming outside with everybody else. And I walked through this prison, and I'll tell you, it was creepy. I mean, you're kind of going, this would be perfect to shoot a scary movie in, because it was old. It hasn't been in use for a long, long time. And I walked into one of the cells. They can't be more than 10 feet by 7 feet. I mean, they're small, and they got these metal bunk beds just bolted into the wall. And I sat down on one of the beds, and I'm in this room by myself. I kind of could feel the ghosts of the spirits of whatever happened in there before.
He believes in ghosts? Okay.
And I thought to myself, I don't need to be scared straight to not want to go to prison. You should bring kids. I don't need a mass murder to scream at me as a teenager that you better straighten out your life. I think you take troubled teens, put one of them at a time in there, and let them go in there by themselves and go, wow, you could.
Yeah, this is fear tactics. And fear tactics never work. They don't work. This has been studied upside down, backward, and forward. They just don't.
This could be your home, this little space for the next 20, 30 years of your life. And I thought that to me would make anybody, unless they're insane, not want to go to prison. And that really, to me, I was like, where do you find salvation in a place like this? And that's what happened to my character, which I thought was amazing, that this guy, even though he murdered someone, he tells the backstory, because a couple prisoners ask him, you've been here a long time, old man. What did you do to get in here? And he tells the story, and he says, I deserve to be here. I deserve to die for what I've done. It's a horrible thing what I did.
Nobody deserves to die. Okay. And you know what? Even if they deserve to die, you may not. Like, the justice system has a 4% failure rate for the death sentence. 4% of the people on death row are 100% completely and totally innocent. And until that number is 0, I cannot abide by it. I don't care if the person admits their guilt or whatever. We have false confessions from tons of people. Somebody just won a lawsuit. This guy won a lawsuit against the police department who was investigating his dad's murder not too long ago. The police brought the guy's dog in and said, we're going to bring him to a shelter to have him euthanized if you don't tell us about your dad, that you murdered him. It was extreme mental distress. Dude's dad was alive. Wasn't even dead. Guy admitted to it, sat in prison for a while until everybody realized, oh, my dad's fine. You know, the guy's dad is fine. And he sued the shit out of them for like millions. And I'm glad for that. The point is that false confessions happen all the time for a variety of reasons. Something called the Reed technique. And the goal of the Reed technique is to put mental pressure on people until they confess. The goal is to get a confession out of people, for better or worse. Whether it's real is another story. It's irrelevant. They just want confessions. The guy that invented it in the 1950s, the first case that he did, like his famous case that normalized the read technique in police departments. Turns out it was a false confession, the very first one. So the point is, do not trust confessions like that. Don't. Not a safe thing to do.
But the story of the movie is it shows you that in the worst of conditions, there is redemption and there is hope. And we live in such a crazy, insane, hateful world right now.
But wait, there wasn't hope for that guy. Didn't he die?
Yeah. Where everybody, not everybody, but there's a large percentage of the population that wakes up every day and wonder, gee, what can I be mad about today? You know, and what a horrible way to go through life. There's no hope in these people's lives.
I don't wake up and think about that every day.
This movie shows you that the obstacles that come in front of our lives can be overcome if you have the right mindset to want to do it.
Now, you collaborated on this film with Cuba Gooding Jr. He has a
Well, I think it's Cuba Gooding Jr., but okay.
role in it. So what was that like working with him?
You know, it's really weird because we don't have any scenes together, but we're on set, you know, because he would have his scenes. They never put us together. And I think I was shooting another movie at the time, and so was he. So I think a lot of times they did a little reread on the script because they didn't know if we overlap enough. So we were only on set together for about half a day. But we've been at the screenings. There's been a number of screenings. And like I said, if you go to FiringSquadFilm.com, you can see
FiringSquadFilm.com. My God, what a name for a movie or whatever.
The testimonials of people come out of the theater and they're just moved. I mean, some are visibly shaking and crying. And they're moved by the message of the movie. So,
I mean, the whole thing is like propaganda. It did not play out the way that the movie portrays, I'm sure. These things never do. Certainly not on the right. It never works out that way when like right-wing extremists make the movie, like God's Not Dead, for example. Just nonsense. It was complete garbage.
It opens August 2nd, and we hope people line up. Tim Che was our director. I've been wanting to work with Tim for a long time. And it worked out great. The guy is so collaborative on set. He's so easy. He knows what he wants, but he's open to listen to other people's ideas on scenes and stuff like that because I'm a director as well as a producer.
Wow. It really is FiringSquadFilm.com. Let me just look at this. FiringSquadFilm.com. Wow. It is a website. Sure enough. In theaters nationwide in 22 days. Okay. Wow. There is hope.
Hi, I'm actor Kevin Sorbo, and I have an extremely important message just for you.
Lay it on me, Kevin.
Over my career, I've shot over 80 movies, but for the first time ever, I'll be in movie theaters this August 2nd, leading audiences in a prayer to commit their lives to Jesus Christ.
Oh my God. Did this movie make it to theaters, or is it going to? Oh God, don't tell me that. Yeah, it's some kind of crazy Christian movie, apparently. Our mission is to inspire and support individuals in their journey from adversity to redemption, fostering an environment of hope, healing, and growth where every story of darkness can be rewritten into a narrative of light and positive change. Our vision: we envision a world where every individual finds the strength to emerge from darkness into light, embracing renewal and positive transformation as a path to true fulfillment. From shadows to light, the journey of renewal. Okay, wow. Oh, look, you can invest now. There's an investment button. All right, let's see how much they're asking for. $1.8 million is what they've got, and they're shooting for $5 million. All right, let's click invest. Oh, look, investor perks. What do we get for investing? $100 or more. Get exclusive behind-the-scenes content and get updated. Wow, you have to pay to be updated. All right. $500 or more. 1 year full access to the Epic Times digital platform. Holy shit. The Epic Times is owned by Falun Gong, I believe, isn't it? Or wait, it's owned by a cult. The Epic Times is a far-right international multi-language newspaper and media company affiliated with the Falun Gong New Religious Movement. The newspaper, based in New York City, is part of the Epic Media Group, which also operates New Tang Dynasty NTD television. Wow, interesting. Yeah, the Epic Times got their start by printing these documents. Falun Gong has their cult headquarters here. They print these newspapers, and they just pass them out on the street for free. And that's kind of how they grew. And they've promoted conspiracy theories, as it says here, like QAnon, anti-vax stuff, false election claims. money laundering. Wait, in June 2024, allegations of money laundering were leveled at the group's chief financial officer. Whoops. Anyway, that's the Epic Times. So I guess the Epic Times will give you a free subscription. Wow, super nice of them, huh? Early viewing, watch the full movie before its theatrical release, includes all previous perks. This is for 1,500 or more. 10,000 or more, exclusive screener event. Join us virtually or in person for a special screening. Includes all previous perks. Wow, $10,000 gets you an exclusive screen. Wow, $10,000 or more gets you an exclusive screening event or whatever. 20,000, film script. Receive a hard copy of the official film script with a credit mention. Includes all previous perks. Wow, dude. It's crazy.
Do you believe in Jesus?
Unfortunately, I can't watch it. Copyright stuff. This guy, Kevin Sorbo, is like a hawk with copyright stuff. Anyway, let's keep listening here. I should talk about Falun Gong. I'm going to hit this in a little while, but let's watch a little more here.
So you better believe we might butt heads a couple of times because I'm going to say, no, I think it should be this way. But he was great. And I'm glad we finally got to do a film together. And I'm going to do a Christmas movie with him later this year. And I'm looking forward to that as well.
You know, the amount of production that you're putting out is awesome. We're going to take a quick break. We're going to come right back with Kevin Sorbo. We're going to be talking about what he's doing to shake up the worlds of families, because he's got some interesting resources for parents and kids. I want to talk about that. We'll be right back.
Oh, I guess that was the end of it. Did he say advice for parents and families? Okay.
I want to take a moment to talk about the volatile financial time that we're in.
Dude, I absolutely love the crazy shit that these people put in their ads.
And I want you to empower yourself with knowledge. My people perish for lack of knowledge, the Bible says. Visit lancewallnut.com/birch and get a free information kit. Consider discussing how to shift your 401k or your retirement account into a tax-sheltered gold and silver account.
Are you serious? Dude is telling people how to do like tax shelters and stuff. What? Oh my God.
Why don't you go to lancewallnut.com/birch right now and take action for a secure future.
Wow, that is just like shameless garbage. Yeah, all of these like gold and silver things, they're scams.
All right, we're here with Kevin Sorbo talking about the movie that's coming out August 2nd. And that, you know, I don't know if you know
Dude, I have no idea how to beat this guy. I'm just lost.
this, Kevin. I'm going to give a shout out. You have one of the most interesting Twitter gifts. I mean, I'm serious about this. You didn't mention it. It's nowhere in my material, but I'm one of your followers on X.
He's inflammatory and about as extreme as it gets on the twit.
Yep.
And you've got, I'm telling you, you have some of the most memorable, I even like, you know, I screenshot a couple of them here because I'm one of those people that is retweeting your stuff. I love this one. Can someone put a Trump endorsement on Biden's teleprompter to see if he'll read it? I mean, you're witty. You've got a great sense of irony.
So I guess like what teleprompters are bad or whatever. Okay. I mean, does he realize that Trump uses teleprompters?
Which is like almost like a Jewish comedy gift.
Jewish comedy gift? What?
Biden declares administration will never leave anyone behind except Americans held hostage by Hamas or trapped when Afghanistan fell or maybe killed by accident by a drone or murdered by illegal immigrants. For those,
Yeah, this is all propagandistic garbage, what he's laying down here. First of all, I've never heard Biden use that term, "he'll never leave anyone behind." Maybe he has. That's possible. I just don't remember it. Except Americans held hostage by Hamas. That's not Biden's doing. That's Israel's doing. Israel is refusing to help the hostages. They've just given up on the hostages. And also, I think the U.S. did get some hostages out. Trapped when and there were like 2 American citizens in there. Trapped when Afghanistan fell. Nobody was trapped when Afghanistan fell. They wanted to stay. Everybody who was in Afghanistan when the U.S. pulled out wanted to be there. Killed accidentally by a drone? Okay, sure. Is he saying like all of these things didn't happen? No American lost their life during any other administration. It's uniquely a Biden problem? or murdered by illegal immigrants. Babylon Bee. The Babylon Bee said that. This is just propagandistic garbage all the way down.
Exceptions, but that's a Babylon Bee quote. But I mean, that's people. You need to go ahead and sign up on X and get a hold of Kevin's wild rants that he does.
No thanks.
Because they're.
I think it's at K-Sorb following me. I'm closing in on 2 million followers right now. I had 4 million on Facebook until COVID came along, and that wussy Zuckerberg and his little troll minions took me down for speaking.
Oh yeah.
The truth.
For speaking the truth, yeah. Zuckerberg had been looking for an opportunity to take down Kevin Sorbo. He's too influential, too powerful on Facebook. He's convincing too many people to be to the left. Because, Facebook and Zuckerberg are famously on the left. But he couldn't do it because Sorbo wasn't violating any of their rules until COVID. But then he violated rules, and Zuckerberg had his chance, his opportunity, the only opportunity that he got. So he took it, and Kevin Sorbo no longer has a face space or a MyBook account or whatever it is. Yeah, totally. That super believable. Absolutely.
They, of course, were saying it was misinformation and conspiracy theories.
It is. The things Kevin Sorbo said are conspiracies.
Of course, everything I said has now come true. So
no, it hasn't.
They should get my account of 4 million followers. So I post on Twitter, I need more conspiracy theories because all of mine keep coming true.
They didn't come true. You can say they came true all you want. It doesn't mean they actually came true. What conspiracy theories, quote unquote, came true? Even the COVID lab leak thing didn't come true. It wasn't it wasn't a lab leak, as far as anyone can tell. It's possible maybe it was, but he has absolutely no reason to believe it. And at the time, he had no reason to believe that it was a lab leak. He's just guessing. He's closing his eyes, throwing a dart at a board and seeing where it landed, effectively. That's it. It was not based on accurate, real information that we had. So I don't care if your conspiracy theories came true. That's completely irrelevant. They were conspiracy theories at the time, even if they did come true. Anyway, God, I get so sick of these people just straight up like lying, just fabricating information. Oh, that's hilarious.
And during COVID, I said, I know the best way to get rid of COVID. Tell the Clintons that COVID's got something on them.
Oh, that's so funny. Oh, my God. The Clintons are murderers. Yes, love everything about it. Bill and Hillary Clinton are not murderers. They did not have somebody murdered. Okay? Jesus Christ. The level of delusion that these people have is just untouchable. Absolutely untouchable. It's crazy.
Ooh. You see what I mean? This is you're a bit provocative with all this stuff. Now,
it's just nonsense, all of it.
Talk to me about your focus and Sam Sorbo, your wife. I've done some events with her. She's really dialed in with you.
Oh God, she's crazy.
Your kids on making sure that children are being insulated or protected from the indoctrination, which is ubiquitous in the education system.
My God. Yeah, her whole thing is you should be homeschooling your kids, basically.
So I'm assuming that's what led you to do some work for parents. The bare essentials of fatherhood is one you mentioned, and the test of lionhood. Talk to me about.
Oh, these are brave books. I had a series where I read the brave books.
These every month things you're putting out.
Well,
I actually have that book, The Test of Lionhood. I never did give it a read, but I copied it down, and I can go through it one of these days if people want to read it.
The whole thing with Brave Books, please go to bravebooks.com. It's a great place to go. They got the wonderful stuff. They do great stuff with family books, kids like between the ages of 4 and 10. So I started talking about the emasculation of men, and they've been doing it for decades, and certainly on television and movies they've been doing it. You look at the sitcoms, even from the 70s up till present, the dads are always out of shape, the moms are babes, the teenage kids use dad as a pincushion, and they're going after all the time and making fun. So I said, we need to show the importance of dads, but I also want to talk about what they're doing with kids. And my buddy...
Wait, so dads have been emasculated in, like, culture? Okay.
Kurt Cameron was doing a lot of these Brave books. He was reading...
Oh, not Kirk Cameron.
His books at libraries, and some libraries get some people saying, we don't want them to read this. We'd rather have drag queens read to our 7-year-olds than Kirk Cameron. So
oh, my God. Yeah, drag queens are not spewing vitriol and violent rhetoric. So yeah, that wouldn't surprise me, first of all. And second, it's not censorship to not allow you to use somebody's platform, even if it's a public platform, in my opinion. You have no right to it. There's no like entitlement to this stuff. You should be able to like put your book in the library for people to borrow. You should be able to sell your book or whatever, but you're not entitled to use Amazon's platform to sell your book, for example. You're not entitled to, talk about your book at a library, hold an event there. You're entitled to make it available to people. That's it, at best. Anyway, they're like perpetual victims, and either they don't understand freedom of speech or they don't care, or they're like lying about it. I don't know which one it is.
I thought was so funny. So they came to me, Brave Book. So I'm signed up with that. This is a test of linehood. This book came out in September, and it deals with a story about Lucas the Lion Cub, and he learned everything about the dangers and the positive things about living out in the wild. Well, his little sister gets cut by a plant that he knows she's going to die unless they get a flower that's going to save her life. He knows how to get the flower. He knows he doesn't have time to go back and get his father or his mother to help him because she's going to die. So he finds his own courage. He's only 10 years old, so he's got to find his own courage, his own bravery, and get past any insecurities to do.
Okay, I don't really have a problem with that.
Him saving his sister's life. Well, he does it. And now we got Father's Day coming up next month, and so this book that just got released.
All right, see, the problem with Brave Books is not the story. The stories are mostly fine. The problem is, hold on, let me just pull one of them up. Let me pull that one up. The problem is the questions at the end. They get absolutely psychotic. Now, regarding these books, I own physical copies of them. I have physical copies, and I tore the binding off and ran them through a scanner, which is my legal right as a book owner. I can legally do whatever I want, and I have not reproduced and will not reproduce my backed up copy. So it is legal for me to criticize this book that I scanned in myself. I can even show receipts. Just want to make sure that's clear because I know that they're copyright hawks. Yeah, here you go. Test of Lionhood right here. Yeah, sorry for the bad scan job. That's my fault. I did my best. So, like I said, the story itself isn't really that bad, necessarily. It's like, whatever, okay, it's just a normal kid's story. Beautiful art, though. The real problem comes when you get to the end of the book, and I don't know how to skip to the end. Here, Kevin Sorbo, well-known Christian actor who has starring roles in God's Not Dead, Let There Be Light, Left Behind, Rise of the Antichrist, and Hercules. Kevin suggests, hey families, this brave challenge will help you understand what masculinity is and how a true man who honors God's design acts in hard times. Although it teaches about masculinity, both boys and girls can learn from these lessons. Yeah, the questions at the end are psychotic. Jesus, dude. Talk about it. What did Lucas do to protect Chloe in the game? What gifts did God give men that make them good protectors? See, because men are better protectors than women, of course. God gave both men and women different gifts and roles. Some roles are meant to be only for the man and some for the women, but some roles can be done by both. We say that men are masculine, or manly, and women are feminine, womanly, when they fulfill the roles that God made for them. God gave men the role of protecting others by giving them strength, leadership, and the ability to provide for their families. Okay, there you go. Final thoughts from Kevin. Oh, yeah, here. Kevin suggests, this is another game. It's easy to give up when something difficult comes our way, but often doing the hard thing is necessary to reach a goal or help others. Okay, good message. I like that. When challenges arise and you want to give up, remember that our greatest reward isn't always our success, but the character we build in pursuit of it. Okay, fine. I can agree with that message. And I don't think that a comma should be here. They should remove that, but whatever. Final thoughts from Kevin. Masculinity is often attacked or misunderstood. It is? Who's attacking masculinity? You know, the term toxic masculinity, I can see people thinking that that's an attack on masculinity. That's not what that is. Toxic masculinity is masculine behaviors that hurt men. It's a men's rights thing, if anything ever was. And it just it blows me away that these people don't want to accept that or don't think about it or don't understand it, or like, I don't know. It's insane to me that they're so uninformed. Question mark? Are they uninformed? Is that the problem? I don't know. Or are they dishonest? Could be either, I suppose. A masculine man is strong, but also obediently follows God's will and strives for truth and righteousness. Jesus Christ is a perfect example of a man because he showed both power and love. Although no one can be perfect on this earth, men can strive to follow his example of a perfect man who obeyed God and loved others as well. Yeah, so the point is, the story isn't bad, but the questions at the end are just wild to me, just wild. And I just about guarantee that the new book, The Bare Essentials of Fatherhood, it's almost certainly just as insane. So yeah.
We're doing a lot of plugs for this right now. It's called The Bare Essentials of Fatherhood. Once again, Brave Books. This deals with the importance of fathers, the importance of having a mom and dad in the family to help raise kids the right way. I'll get attacked, of course, by everybody that's on the left and the crazy lunatics. I'm not anti anything. I'm just pro-child and I'm pro-family.
He is, oh my God. Holy shit. I am getting messed up over here. He is pretending to be pro-family or whatever, while in the process, denigrating and demeaning the efforts of others to bring an end to things that harm men, like toxic masculinity. Anyway, it's just sad and ridiculous.
God, please forgive me for being that way, but here we are.
So what? So now these.
Oh, give me a break.
These include like stories and games and discussion. I mean, literally, is for parents that aren't involved with educating their children. It's a one-stop shop for engaging them. And the ideal age for this.
To do it because afterwards, after the stories, there's all kinds of pages of just guides and stuff to talk about with your kids.
Yeah, that guide is nuts.
Questions, games to play, things like that. It's just a wonderful way for 4 to 10-year-olds to get stories that are positive, stories that embrace morality, embrace the difference between good and bad, and good and evil, I should say. So please sign up for Freedom Island. That's wonderful stuff there, Brave Books. So Brave.
I prefer Penn Island, Penisland. That's the best one. You should go to that website.
Books.com is a great place to go.
Bravebooks.com, folks.
Yes.
You're getting all these resources here, people. I hope you appreciate this. We got movies, we got books. How do you account for this prodigious production capacity? It's kind of unusual. Actors, as a rule, are not necessarily content creators. What is it in your history that made you capable of being so versatile like this?
Well, I think it's probably my parents. My parents, they were, but they grew up with farms in Iowa. Hard work, don't expect handouts, get out there and work your butt off, have a strong will, all that stuff. And
yeah, because see, the left doesn't believe in hard work, Everybody on the left is just lazy and they just like leech off the government and all that. Totally. Yeah, that checks out. That's why I work like 80 hours a week, totally, because I'm lazy, you see.
And I just always been that way, I had a double business major. And I just applied that to show business because it's called show business, not show. And
show business, not show. I don't get it.
I just went after. Look, I'm all about. I've got pages of this. These are all my list of to-do things. Okay, I got to write them down or I'll forget them. And I got pages, and I go through.
Yeah, welcome to the fucking club, bro. Everybody is busy. You think you're more busy than somebody that works at like Burger King? No, you're not. They are busier. Trust me on that, all right? They have to be to survive. He's such a perpetual victim, this guy. I would take his life over, nearly anybody's because he's filthy rich.
Through each one of these every day, these are my top 20 I got to take care of today. But I do juggle a lot of balls, and I do have...
You do what with balls?
A number of movies in post. I got 3 documentaries coming out.
All right. So what are the documentaries on? Talk to me about that.
Well, I worked with Ingenuity Films. Brent Miller does amazing work with these guys. We had the #1 documentary 2 years ago on Amazon. It's called Before the Wrath. It deals with the second coming, and I highly recommend it. It's amazing. I'm the voice on there. I'm the narrator of it. We have a
now I know what to avoid.
Follow book coming with this company that'll be out at Christmas time, and it's about the Last Supper, and it's called Eating with the Enemy, and it's wonderful. I just spent 3 weeks in Israel before the war broke out. And that's the other one. We spent 3 weeks going.
I'm sorry, I got to correct him on this. It's not a war in Israel. It's a genocide. When it's one-sided, it's not a war. When the other side has no means of like fighting or protecting themselves, it's just murder.
To archaeological digs tracing the flow of the Ark of the Covenant. That's coming out at Christmas as well.
Tracing the flow of the Ark of the Covenant?
That's called The Quest for the Throne of God. And then I got another documentary that is out right now, actually. It deals with the Hollywood takeover. It's entitled, go to HollywoodTakeover.com.
Can you call it a documentary if it's complete bullshit, like from beginning to end? Is that okay, or is that like allowed?
With Epic Times. Epic is also doing the movie Firing Squad as well. They're diving into that world. They want to start doing more and more movies. And this one, the Hollywood Takeover, deals with the Chinese takeover of Hollywood, because China is not only buying up all our farmland and poisoning the minds of children through their TikTok. Because trust me, the TikTok in China is completely different than TikTok.
God, give me a break. Yeah, he's correct in saying that the TikTok in China is different, and I could even be convinced. I think that China does have some sway over TikTok's algorithm and how it works and who is targeted by it and everything else. I think I agree with that. But this idea that China is taking over like the movie industry or whatever, come on, man. Get a grip on reality. Seriously.
Here in America. And
I know you say that. So for our audience that hears these things but doesn't really understand them, what content is on in China in TikTok?
It's all productive stuff. It's video of kids helping others and stuff like that. The reason that I think TikTok is right now probably, China at least has some sway over it at a minimum. The reason I think that is because when the the Uyghur Muslim thing was happening, it's still happening, but when it was in the news, where China was like hurting the Uyghur Muslims and putting them in camps and shit, genociding them, people could not talk about Uyghur Muslims on TikTok. It was just deleted silently most of the time. People had to like slip it into videos and stuff carefully. So anyway, for that reason, if no other, I'm very confident that TikTok is like, that China is kind of manipulating the algorithm. But yeah, we need to like find a way to stop that, honestly.
Positive stuff, all about you are a good person. You are a good Chinese citizen. You are good. People that post stuff, they won't let you post anything that's negative there.
It's true.
They all are just posting good content. If you want to say good content, maybe
I mean, not to be that guy, but I don't like China's authoritarian control over social media networks like that. Like there should be control over their degree of like control. There should be like a limit to what the government can do regarding misinformation or disinformation, but I don't like that's too far. What China is doing is like way too far. So
brainwashing going on. But here in America, what they're doing, some 40-year-old guy could dress in drag and do twerk in front of the camera. They will bolster that they will fake the number of followers.
Oh my God.
Of this guy, so he makes even more money. The Chinese,
there's no evidence of that.
Chinese will actually pay these people. People look.
Chinese will pay these people? Oh boy, I need to write this one down. That is delusional if I've ever seen it.
Looking at that would think that this guy, look what he's doing, making money. So they start copying that and emulating that. There's a destruction within America right now that's going on. It's not only a cultural war, but it's a religious and spiritual war as well.
It totally
spiritual war. Okay.
I was in China in 2010, and I met with some of the, oddly enough, Christians that are in the Communist Party. You don't know how that can happen, but I mean, there were saints in Caesar's household, and these were guys who were involved with media. And what they told me privately is they really lamented that the United States wasn't putting out more content that was wholesome, that was going to help to build stability and resourcefulness and responsibility in their citizens, because they're going to have to come up with their own material because the West is flooding them with garbage. And it was a market demand for something that would be, as the guy said, obviously we don't want to have Christianity being, highlighted, but
He's using weasel words right now. I don't know if you noticed that. He's referring to some ambiguous group, some authority out there who did this thing, and he isn't like specifically naming names or explaining where he or how he got this information or whatever. It's completely made up.
As believers, we're looking for content that would be wholesome and resonate with Christian values. And they came to the conclusion the collapse of their great enemy, the United States, was because of its promiscuity and weakness. And therefore, they came to that awakening.
Who is they here? He's talking about the ambiguous communists, right?
Awakening that America's losing it because it's becoming decadent. And so, in a sense, we were like a cautionary tale.
Dude, I've got to get this. 25 minutes. Oh, this is so fascinating. Well, says communists are trying to make America decadent. Is that it? I'm trying to understand here.
Saw our decline as being because of this woke ideology. And therefore, strangely enough, as communists, they would do the reverse. They would build healthy content, get an education, learn to play an instrument, understand engineering, and so it's. I wish more Americans understood that dichotomy. Real quick, Kevin, you got because I got like 2 minutes, and then you got to bounce, and you get ready with one question real fast for this. But my question to you is: we have a lot of people that are saying, "Man, I want to be able to do entertainment. I want to be able to do media," and they're looking at Hollywood as though obviously that's a dead end. What's the alternative for aspiring artists and content creators in terms of where, if you could have a map with unlimited funding to create an alternative vehicle, what do we need in order to have our own impact on entertainment and arts?
I need those funders. I need those billionaires that are out there that are Christians and conservatives that jump on board.
I mean, there are billionaires out there that are Christians and conservatives. Like the Koch brothers are like far-right conservative nutcases. They just don't like you. That's the problem. They just don't like you.
They don't have to be Christians. It's people that believe in a good moral values. It's as simple as that.
Yeah, except Kevin Sorbo's values are not good moral values. They're fucking horrific, some of the things that he says and does. You know your career's in the toilet when you found yourself on Flashpoint, right? Well, this isn't even Flashpoint. This is on Lance Wallnau's show individually. It's even worse, I think.
Because right now it's not happening. And so people need to wake up and need to fight back. And we need funding for my movies. I do $3 million budgets. That's nothing compared to what Hollywood's doing. And yet I got to fight my way through to try to find that for every project that I do. And we need people to we have to be as active as they are on the left. The left is very active in their hate and their anger. Well,
I'm not hateful or angry about anything toward anybody. What are you talking about? I don't hate anybody for anything. I wish that Kevin Sorbo wasn't such a scumbag. That would be fantastic. I wish Trump wasn't a scumbag. I don't wish death on the dude. Nobody. When I say I don't wish death on anybody, I mean it. Nobody. But okay, yeah, keep telling me how hateful I am.
We need to be active on the opposite of that. We need to be active on putting things out there with positive messages instead of negative ones. It's as simple as that.
And the reality is 65% of the U.S., if you poll them, they're consumers of what they want is uplifting content. Yeah. You know, that Ted Cruz, the movie, what was the movie that was done with the jet? Tom Cruise. I was surprised when I went to see that movie, about, the Top Gun.
It was a Top Gun, yeah.
And it was all like pro-American. It was pro-virtue. It had character qualities. And the movie was, you'd think Hollywood would say, hey, this formula works. I don't know why they have to come up with the bizarre stuff.
What bizarre stuff? What is he talking about? I don't know what bizarre things he thinks Hollywood is coming up with right now. Like, I'll give you this. There are a couple of movies that are fucking weird that I've seen. Like, really, really odd. Black Christmas comes to mind. Black Christmas was a weird movie. And it was like, if there was a movie that's woke, it's that. That is a woke movie. That's not like a standard, normal, common thing in Hollywood. Like, I don't know what he's talking about, what he's complaining about here. Honestly, that's the one thing that I have ever seen that I will call woke. It was just painfully stupid.
There really is an audience for wholesome material. I guess it's distribution is the question.
Well, China told them they got to take that what do you have, the logo on there of Taiwan or something?
Yeah.
They told them they have to take that off. Well, then COVID.
Well, the thing is with China, it's complicated. I heard that there was this this like test that you have to go through if you want to get your movie into the Chinese market. It cannot have this thing or that thing or whatever other thing like that. That's not true. China kind of at their discretion just randomly picks like 25 movies per year or something to bring into the Chinese market. It's not like that. I suppose that they're probably less likely to bring in movies that have pictures of Taiwan on the front, but I'm not sure why a movie would even have Taiwan on the front of their movie, but okay.
They delayed the release of the movie, then they released it, and during that time, I think Tom Cruise had a lot to do with this. He said, screw them. I don't care if it goes to China or not. They're turning away 1.5 billion people audience, but the movie still made over $1 billion. But
Tom Cruise did what? Did Tom Cruise say, I'm going to talk bad about the Chinese government in one of his movies? I don't remember this.
The China takeover, Hollywood takeover documentary I told you about has that in there, and it's in there, and it's huge to show what's going on. That they will only they'll take movies in China if they're negative about America, but you can't have anything negative about China for sure.
They're guarding the gate, aren't they? So, Carl, one final question you got for Kevin?
Yes, sir. I know you have to leave, but I am curious if you could summarize or synthesize what are you ultimately hoping for as a direct consequence of all of these, pardon the pun, Herculean efforts on your part?
Oh my God, give it a rest.
What am I hoping for?
Yes, sir.
I'm hoping that I hope people wake up. I hope people find the courage not to let fear rule their lives.
Yeah, wake up, sheeple.
COVID is a perfect example of where governments around the world controlled everybody's life through fear. And the stuff they did was evil beyond evil. Fauci and Gates should be in jail the rest of their lives.
Give me a break, dude. Fauci didn't do anything. I don't know what this right-wing obsession is with the guy.
It's unbelievable what they did and what other governments are doing. You saw what happened in Australia, all that. I got buddies in Melbourne that told me stories you would not believe how bad the lockdown was. They're arresting people for walking out their front yard. So their dog.
Just bullshit. You tell me in Australia, people were arrested for walking out in their front yard? I'm sorry, I just don't believe that. I think you're making this up. In Melbourne? Really? Melbourne, Australia? Let's see. Melbourne, Australia, lockdown, arrest, front yard. That should pull something up, right? Protester arrested in... I don't know which news networks are trustworthy here. Lockdown protester refuses to give name, arrested in neighbor's front yard. Australian anti-lockdown suspect's arrest draws controversy. This is like one arrest, or the arrest of a woman in Australia for promoting an anti-lockdown protest online has drawn criticism after video of the incident went viral. That's complicated. Yeah, okay. Well, I think you should be allowed to say whatever. I don't think you should be like arrested for speech, but they don't have the U.S. Constitution. It's different there. Footage shows officers handcuffing pregnant woman Zoe Lee Bueller, 28, in her home in Victoria on Wednesday in front of her partner and children. Okay. Well, yeah, I'm not a fan of that. But again, why did he go to Australia for an example of this happening? Why did he pick one example here? Or why is there only one example, seemingly? Did this happen in the U.S.? If it did, then I'd stand against that. See how easy that is? If it didn't, then what are you complaining about?
Dog could take a pee and there's nobody else outside. And the neighbors would call in. He's not wearing a mask. The closest person to him was 50 feet away in a house.
Bullshit.
Yeah.
They still put the guy in solitary for 14 days. It's insane. And
I'm sorry. I just don't believe it. I don't. And you know what? Again, if that happened, I denounce it. See how easy?
we need people to stop being sheep, wake up and fight back. This is ridiculous what we're doing. Our country's falling apart here as well. If America goes, trust me, the world's going to go too.
Well, we're in the fight of our life right now, but the good news is you're producing the kind of content that is needed, and I think that you're making an example that it's possible to be able to be courageous and outspoken and find a way to create the business enterprise still in America where you can get your thoughts out there. So thanks, Kevin, for what you're doing. And we're looking forward to tracking these movies. We're going to make sure everybody gets this broadcast. Thanks for your time, brother. I look forward to seeing you again.
My God, dude. Kevin Sorbo seriously has problems. Absolutely insane. Anyway, tell me what you think about this in the comments. This guy is absolutely nuts, honestly.